Okay.
And we're on. Welcome to the show. My name's Tom Wise.
I'm Melinda McKinsey, and there was no previous dickery before we got on air.
All we've been doing is dickering around, changing the angles, moving things around. The fuss budgeting continues.
Plus,
And you're unpacking some shit with Wise and McKinsey.
yes, we're going to unpack some shit.
Can I say that you were the one, you generously put your name last in that tag? I did not create that name.
You know what? I think it sounds good, and I have no problem with things like that. Don't bother me, really.
Yeah. McKinsey and Wise would have been fine. I would have been fine with that.
Well, if we were McKinsey and Wise, everybody ties the McKinsey name into the sex, stuff.
Oh.
The McKinsey report. So it's
Right.
better to have Wise, because then it gives us an allure of being smart.
Yes.
Smart and sexy.
Yeah. Well, McKinsey and Wise almost sounds like a legal firm too.
That we would be, or private detectives. I've always wanted to be a private detective. Maybe later when we're in the nursing home and we're doing all this stuff we want to do, we could be a McKinsey and Wise detective agency. See who's stealing someone's pudding.
We'll be hiding behind the folding accordion door that separates the two rooms.
The case of the missing pudding.
Lovely. So how's your list today?
Pretty good. It's funny now that we're doing this, and it makes me so happy that we're doing this 3 days a week, because now I look for interesting things. I kind of go out of my way to pay attention, and then I jot notes because I get super excited about, this would be a great story. So here's what I have. Online shopping fail, which I had mentioned yesterday. What's the biggest lie you've ever been told? Ooh, that was a good one online. I actually saw that on Instagram and I stole that idea. And Google where you are, which is a fun experiment I want you and I to try from our different states of Florida and New York. And good cop, bad cop.
Wow.
I carry this notebook around everywhere.
I like it. I text myself my ideas.
Well, you're modern, and I'm a little old lady that likes to write things down.
So yeah, I've always got the phone with me, so
yes.
I text myself those things. Although I've developed for whatever reason I've got three texts that come in and out on my phone. I'm either Thomas Wise, Tom Wise, or I've got a secondary Tom Wise email account that pops in and out, kind of floats in and out of my phone at any given time.
Yeah.
That one account was gone for years, and it popped back up for no reason, and I had a whole bunch of comedy ideas that I was able to mine again.
That's so funny you said that, Tom, because I have an old AOL account. When I revamped and got the new phone, all my mail showed up, and it's been inactive forever. I have 45,000 pieces of mail in there.
Wow.
So I've been digging through to see if there was anything interesting or important that I had kept in that old, but it takes for fucking ever. 45,000. I almost want to pay somebody to do it.
What could possibly be in there that you'd be interested in?
Well, in the old days when I had AOL, I kept like job recommendations. When I moved to New York, I had a bunch of my HSN friends give me job recommendations, and I was keeping some of my comedy on there. And so I tried to dig back to the beginning, and it just took too long, so I just started deleting. It's a terrible process for someone that's not organized.
Yeah, I don't think I've deleted much on my AOL, and I still have AOL. I probably have 85,000 messages.
Do you? Okay, so I don't feel so bad, but I loved my AOL account, and it was one of my favorite things because I had a clever name. It wasn't mine. That was before, all the new email was coming out, and I didn't want my name. How boring is that? And now, of course, it's easier to have it as your name. Huh?
Absolutely. You die for your name to be on the.
Yeah.
I saw Tom Wise was available as a website way back when, and then I lazily checked on it 6 months later, and it's long gone. I go, well, you're stupid. They should have grabbed that.
Yes, of course. Yeah, my name, Melinda McKinsey, is a porn star in Australia. So
you got that going for you.
Yeah, so I can always utilize that.
Melinda McKinsey.
Here she is.
You wanker. So my topics are short money, flowers, 6 decisions, unoffendable, and Princess Bride.
Oh, I love that. I don't know what any of those things mean. What do you want to talk about
Let's
first?
do. I want to do your biggest lie.
Okay. So, like I said, I saw this on Instagram and I just found it fascinating because, we all lie. Everybody lies. People get upset about lies. What's the difference between a bad lie and a good lie? And we talked about this on What a Show many years ago because I know this was one of my topics. What's the difference between a good lie and a bad
We're not talking about golf.
lie?
Yeah,
That's a whole different category
you got
with
a
the
bad
lie.
lie there, sir. You're on the
Yeah.
sand on a rock. Yeah.
Right? I
Yes.
mean, a bad lie would be that you're harming someone, right? You're holding someone back, you're harming someone. So, one of the funnier responses was, "What's the biggest lie that you've ever been told?" Is someone put, "When my wife said yes, I read the terms and agreements." Do you ever read the terms and agreements?
Nobody does.
Nobody does, but I've heard many stories where sometimes they'll slip a little thing in there, like a car dealership slipped something in there and someone actually got a car for free because they read all of it. So
Really?
yeah.
Well,
So that,
you know that famous thing about what's that band that had something about green M&Ms in their contract?
oh yeah, I think it was supposed to be Van Halen or something,
Yeah,
right?
Van Halen famously had green M&Ms as a requirement. Are you familiar with the story?
Vaguely.
Do you know why they did that?
No.
It was very interesting. It wasn't because they were, a-holes and like, we're going
Okay.
to ask for this, that, and the other thing. It was because they had a very technical setup with pyrotechnics,
Okay.
and lighting, and there was a little bit of danger involved if these things weren't set up properly. So they
Oh,
said, if we walk in our green M&Ms, that means they've read everything and they've set everything up right. So if you
that's
walk in,
brilliant.
exactly, because they wanted to make sure that this whole document's been read and executed.
Is there a way we could use that trickery in dating? Like, is there?
Yes, women do that all the time.
What do we do?
Smart women do. On their look at your eyeballs.
What do smart women do?
Well, a smart woman will put something down on the profile. I know women like to just put up a couple of pictures and and then just disappear and expect the man to do all the work. That's a mistake. Yeah, he's going to do a lot of the work, but you've got to give him a breadcrumb trail to get started. You've got to say, I'm interested in
Oh,
archery, or I'd love to swim with the dolphins, or my goal is to go to Machu Picchu. Give somebody an opportunity to start a conversation. Don't just throw up a picture of you in your bathing suit, or you know, and shopping at
yeah.
Walmart, and that's and make him do all the work. You got to give somebody, because other than that, then the same woman complains. Oh, all you do is, hey, what's going on? How are you doing? You're
Right.
starting the conversation at such a low base level. You're never going to get anywhere. Give somebody, I'm interested in learning the piano, something to talk about, right?
Right. Right.
So don't be lazy, ladies. Fill out that form. Give somebody a lot of things to talk about. Let them find out, do you like to bake or whatever. But
Sure.
also inside that little list, I give this bit of advice to my friend Faith. Who gets a lot. She's very attractive, and if
Yeah.
she'd go on Match or something, she'd get literally 200 and 300
Oh
a
yeah.
day, right?
Oh yeah.
I said, somewhere in the middle of your thing, ask a specific question about something. Hey, if you're going to respond to my whatever,
That's
let me know what your birth date is, or let me know what your sign is, or let me know, what the last book you read was. So this means that the guy read the whole thing, and then he'll tell you, oh, the last book I read was, how to be better in sex.
You're right. You know what? Many years ago, when I used to do online dating, I loved the whole intellectual part to see how people would respond. And I think that was actually my downfall because I was so intrigued by the cleverness that I ignored some of the other, danger signs because dangerous people are clever. So I did a lot of questions, but if someone was clever, man, that was really my crack. It really pulled me in when people are clever.
Yeah. Well, it's fun because there's so many people that aren't clever or just kind of,
Yes.
look at me or do my thing. So yeah, so that's what if I was a lady, that's not going to work for a man. If I can't have 19 things and then slide something in. I'm going to guess most women don't read the whole profile. Just like
Really?
I
That's
think,
I'm sad to hear
I,
that.
I, maybe they do, and I have noticed that some women will comment on the profile, but I think they're just as bad as men. They're swiping pictures, not reading profiles.
Well,
You
I
can't
mean,
read every profile.
okay, we'll get back to the biggest lie, but I got to ask you this. Do you ever respond to someone that doesn't have a picture? Like I used to see guys with no picture and that says, for privacy reasons. So I would never do that. Or to have guys message me and go, hey, I never did the no picture thing because I thought it was like not a good sign, right?
I agree. I
But
mean, if
you're
nobody puts up a picture, the whole thing is done.
right.
So what makes you so special that you don't have to put up a picture?
I can't date you based on your personality.
Well, it never works out well.
No.
Although I have swiped on no pictures if the profile seemed interesting.
Okay.
And frankly, if you've got somebody stalking you to such an extent that you can't put up a picture on Match because and then I find that sometimes it's self-importance. I'm a public figure. Well, yeah, you teach school at the third
Yeah.
grade somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a public figure.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting because I do think the picture is important. Okay, so going back to what's the biggest lie you've ever been told? Do you have anything in mind before I tell you mine?
I do not. I'm so naive. People have probably lied to me my whole life. I don't care.
Well, I will say, at the risk of giving myself away, but everybody that knows me knows this, I can't spot a lie always. I tend to believe what people tell me because I don't want to say naive, hopeful. I'm hopeful to believe the best in people. And so when I'm being lied to and I'll share a story with somebody and they'll go, that's bullshit. I was like, why? Because I'm very confused. Why would anybody lie? It confuses me. So I had a couple of ideas when I read this, and I don't know that all lies are malicious. A real big lie that I was told growing up was, and it's unfortunate because it came from my mom, but my mom's training with all my sisters, I have 3 of them, is be nice. That's your default. That's what you go to. Always be nice. My mom was worried that if we weren't nice, we wouldn't be treated well in society, and that it was more important to be kind. And it took me years to learn that isn't a great fallback because being nice is seen as a weakness, and I'm treated really badly, or I'm treated dumb. If I let something slide, it's like, oh, she's a Mara. I'll do more. And it's really gotten me in a bad relationship. So my mom kept saying, be nice, and it never worked for her. And then, of course, my marriage, which was a horrible lie all throughout. And again, it was me just being hopeful and never believing someone would want to damage or destroy me. And there are so many lies in the marriage, but the biggest one of all was like, I'm your partner. We're a team. Oh. My idea of a team is you help and support each other. His idea of a team is I will ruin and destroy you and do whatever I want. And I didn't realize that was his we should have talked about what a team was. So, but we didn't.
You didn't read the agreement.
I didn't read I just said I do.
You just check the box. Well, that's horrible. So what's the philosophy if it's not be nice?
Well, I think the philosophy should be aware. Be aware. Uh-huh. Because
I mean, do people by default earn your nice person, or do they have to earn you being nice?
Unfortunately, I give away my time and my peace to a lot of people that I shouldn't. I don't make people earn their way with me, and I should do better at that. I take people in very quickly. I like interesting and clever and funny people, so I take them in right away. I've been disappointed a lot, but I feel like I would miss a lot if I had to play this whole game of like prove yourself. Right.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track. With everybody gets. I will respect you and I will trust you until it's not earned. Until I find out that you've done opposite.
I've been burned a lot. Emotionally, financially, and I guess if it bothered me that much, I probably would have changed my ways, but I can't seem to because I'm so intrigued by people.
You do have to protect yourself at some point, that's for sure. I mean, but I think I don't think you're in a bad spot if that's your initial spot is to be nice.
Well, I don't think my initial is to be nice anymore. My initial is to be aware. I try to pay more attention to what people's motives are. I never really understood that there were motives before.
Right.
That people would use you for things that I thought people liked me because they liked me, not because they wanted something.
Well, it's very interesting because it's funny. I had a revelation. I used to be in charge of the hosts and
Yeah.
producers at Home Shopping a long time ago. And somebody said to me, goes, "Do you know this guy?" And he mentioned the guy's name. I go, "Yeah, I've known him. I've known that guy for 30 years." He goes,
Yeah.
"That guy, he hated you." I said, "You're what?" He goes, "Yeah, he thought you were a big asshole." I go, "You're kidding me. That guy used to kiss my ass constantly when I was over there." No, he thought you were a dick.
Why would this guy tell you such harmful information?
Well, because we were talking about him and he had lost the guy who didn't like me was losing his shit on Facebook, you know, saying horrible things about his kids, saying horrible things about his ex. It's like, and I sent this guy, I'm not telling the story to make me look good, but I sent this guy a private message. I said, "Hey, calm down a little bit,
Yeah.
please don't, do yourself a favor, count to 200 and
Yes.
don't put anything up on Facebook about your kids." I
Yes.
go, "This is not the forum for that." I was doing this as a friend, calm
Yes.
down. We all love you. Everybody respects you, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And I was telling the story to somebody else. Like, "Boy, did you read that?" He goes, "Yeah, that guy thought you were always a dick."
Well, you showed him.
Well, it's funny because people think that, and you don't know what somebody's had. They think, "Oh, this guy's not qualified. Why is he? What made him boss?"
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes. So you can't think of any biggest lie that anybody's ever told you, or the world has told you.
I'm sure I've got lied to on contracts like buying cars.
Yes.
Absolutely. There's hidden fees and stuff like this. It's like, okay, that's a given. Those lies. I remember I bought I bought a Mazda RX-7
Oh.
that was 2 years old, and I could have bought a new car. I mean, they were charging me 16% interest. I could have bought a new car at 3% interest and have the same payment,
Yeah.
except this guy was making a bigger commission selling me a used car at
Yeah.
16%. And I didn't realize that till I just, I was like, "Oh, yeah, that was stupid." So anyway, but I didn't have anybody. I was on my own. So
But not in work. You've never had a work situation where it was just like a big damn lie. No, you can't say it.
no, I'm just breezing through life. If somebody lies,
Through
I try
life.
to I
Okay.
try to protect myself. I'm just, as long as I think I'm doing the right thing, what else can I do? I mean,
You're right.
I can just work with the information that's been given. It's the old four agreements kick in.
The four agreements. As a matter of fact, I I look, I reset my bookcase and I thought, oh, I have to keep this out.
I love it.
I love this book. I got it when I was going through my divorce, and it really is such a great reminder, isn't it, about
Yeah.
everything in life. The
I
four
mean,
agreements.
I don't care. I don't carry a lot of baggage. Even I'm sure I've been lied to in love at some point.
Yes.
But what am I gonna do? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna just
I've been
ruminate
lied
and
to in love, Tom.
plot revenge? What?
Don't you think everybody's been lied to in love at some point or another? If you try it all,
I think so.
why is love and lies so intertwined together?
Because people want the security of this and they want the excitement of that, and then there you go. There's a lie between here and there.
You're right. That's such a great point. And that is something I think I've told you before. I recognize in my dating life, I tend to date very charming bullies. So I go for the fun and the excitement, and then the foundation isn't there. And so now I've had to change my whole idea about what is honorable. What's an honorable person? I can always find fun and excitement. I can't always find an honorable partner. And I didn't recognize that because, who doesn't like fun?
Right. It's very interesting. It's all very interesting. But you're only looking for one person that has a similar philosophy that you've got to travel as a partner to go through your life. I mean, that's what you're looking for, because the rest of it's madness, because you're never going to sort everybody out.
No, you're not. And you have to be able to know that one day I'm going to have a fight with this person. I still need to love this person. I still, and that's hard stuff. But anyway, so the biggest lie, you're not going to participate. That's totally fine. You don't have to, because
me, I'll say it if I got it.
Well, I know you would. I'm not surprised. I didn't expect you to go right to something, because I do feel like you live your life pretty open and pretty, this is who I am. And on the flip side of that, I feel like I do too. I've been lied to.
So what's your biggest lie?
Well, I mean, I guess I mean, I've had a lot of business people lie to me, and I think it's because they think I'm like, oh, she's such a nice girl or a nice lady, and they think I don't know business. So all, when I can't say people, but like definitely people have tried to get me to work without contracts. I'm not going to do that. And I put my contract when they must pay me. So if they don't pay me after 30 days, but I'm going to say my biggest lie was probably my marriage, because it was a huge misunderstanding about what marriage was. and it was ongoing. And so I will say that took the biggest chunk of my life, of like constantly partnering up with someone that had no intention.
People getting married should have long conversations like with people like you that have like, okay, that was 20 years I'm never going to get back. Don't jump in. Don't rush into marriage. Take your time. Really know that if you don't listen to that little voice in your head that, no, I can always get divorced. Ugh, please don't, because you're going to get divorced. So few marriages work out. I mean, it's 50-50, right? And then of the 50 that last, how many wish they were divorced?
Right. Well, and again, I was young and dumb. I should have seen the writing on the wall, and I ignored it. He was my high school sweetheart. And when I moved to California, he wanted to do long distance dating. And he actually said to me, listen, I want you to be monogamous. I don't want you to date anybody else, but I'm going to date. And I said, no, of course. But the fact that he even was very serious about, I don't know, should I have not made that connection that maybe that was his goal anyway?
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend of mine, female, was dating a guy who enjoyed strip clubs. I go, it's really not a good thing. It's not just the occasional strip club once a year with the boys or whatever. It's strip clubs on a regular Friday basis, drinks and strip clubs. I go, they're telling you what they are. You're just not listening.
Yes.
So he's telling you, of course, I don't want you having a bunch of partners, but I think I should have partners because I'm whatever.
Yes. And I take the ownership for the marriage lasting as long as it did, because I didn't want to believe that. He cheated right off the bat, and I caught him, and we went to therapy. And that's when I should have made the split. But I was so like, oh, now he'll never hurt me again, because he saw how bad he hurt me, and I'd had a child by then. And so, once you have a child, it really changes the dynamic, at least in women, of like that bond to that man. And I felt an obligation to the child, and I still take ownership. I should have been strong enough. I was not strong enough to say, I deserve better than this.
Right.
Instead, I felt weak because I was young and I had a baby, and I felt like, I needed to fix this, and that was my bad. So yes, I would love to talk to young women and say, hey, you see that red flag? That means something. So, well, this was fun. Let's talk about one of yours. Mine was a super bummer.
All right. Short money, flowers, 6 decisions, unoffendable Princess Bride.
Unoffendable.
Really?
Yes.
Well, there you go. This kind of ties in with that conversation anyway.
Yes.
I'd say, so, I don't know if it was a meme or somebody said it on Facebook, but when they said, your goal should be to be unoffendable. People are triggered by so many things these days. You should be not so exposed to to allow anybody to trigger you. So you should try to be unoffendable. I always told my kids, I said, the shorter list that things that are going to trigger you in your life, the happier life you'll have. If you've got a short list of things that you're going to be offended by, you can process and have an opinion, but offended is such a strong emotion that you're much better off living a lot without being offended by this and offended by that. I was offended when that person said that.
Yes.
You can still process what has happened, but try to limit being offended.
Yeah. When you first said it, you know what I heard in my girl brain when you first said it?
What?
It took me a minute to realize what you were saying. In my girl brain, what I heard was to not behave in a manner that would offend other people.
Oh, interesting.
I was ready to attack you
Yeah.
till I actually listened. And I thoroughly agree with you, because I will say in my younger years, because I didn't know what I stood for in most areas, I didn't take the time. I would mostly react to things, and it's a very exhausting life to live if you don't know what you stand for,
Right.
because you get pulled in a lot of directions. Absolutely. I think that's why maybe a lot of people appreciate aging too, because you do learn over time to not let those things upset you. Things that used to light me. I'm Irish. I have a very fast temper.
What's your astrological sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, geez, what a combination.
But how much fun am I? I'm trouble, but so yes.
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 Yes. And I think that also kind of ties in with the 4 agreements a little bit.
It absolutely does 1,000%, because you know this as well as I do, working in television, you're going to get attacked a lot. You're going to get told you're not good enough a lot. And I think this career ended up being the best choice for me. This is not my first choice. This isn't what I wanted to do, but it actually taught me to stand up for myself and to be stronger. The things I've been told on social media, on blogs, on, how I'm ugly, how I'm fat, how I'm stupid, how I'm a liar. I had someone send me a private message on Facebook saying they were going to rape me.
Wow.
Yeah, of course I turned them in, but what is Facebook going to arrest them? You know what I mean? Because it's a fake account.
That's insane.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if I was younger, that would have spun me so hard. I would have stayed up nights. I would have given that person all my energy. And when I read it, I was like, what a piece of shit. I turned them in, and then I sometimes forget about it until these conversations come up, because I'm not owning what that negative person does.
No way.
But
no way. What are the 4 agreements? You got the book right there. I keep on talking about it. There's 4 agreements.
Can you say them before I find them? I should know them off the top of my head, but they're very...
Be unimpeachable in your word.
Yes.
Don't assume anything.
Don't take anything personally.
Right. Okay. Don't take any wooden nickels.
Okay, number 1 is what you said. Be impeccable with your word. Number 2, don't take anything personally. 3, like you said, don't make assumptions. Perfect. The next one is always do your best.
Yes.
That's a big one.
There you go. Take those 4 to the grave. You'll be fine.
And the book I highly recommend the book. You can go back over to it. I have all kinds of bookmarks and stuff in it. One of my favorite books. Yeah, those are really great. But yes, I have to agree with you about being unoffendable and to live your life in a way that you're in charge of your emotions, you're in charge of your environment. And really, that's when my life bloomed,
Right.
was when I decided
proactive versus reactive.
Yes. It's cliches are there for a reason.
Right. Because Mexicans are bad drivers.
No,
don't be offended.
It's Asian women.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mixed up my taunts.
No, I'm just repeating what I heard. I'm not going to say I agree with that. So, yes, that's actually a very good one, Tom. That's an important one to live by. That could be a tip of the day.
Tip of the day.
Hey.
So good cop, bad cop, online shopping, and Google where you are. What's it going to be, sister?
Have you had any online shopping fails where you bought something and you're like, oh, I hope it's good. Especially now we're all home, right? Are you ordering more online or no? Because you can kind of be out and about in Florida.
I'm trying to limit the amount of things that I buy, but I mean, I did order some. Gosh dang it, I'm not going to be able to come up with an example. I ordered something and then it's not what it looked like.
Okay.
You know that classic mahogany furniture, dining room furniture thing on eBay, right?
Yes.
Oh, look at this. For $13, you get a mahogany table and chairs. Of course. Then they get delivered and they're, this big.
Yes.
They're
yeah. Yeah. So I did, I came home in March because of the pandemic. And so I spent some time online shopping. I I guess I was feeling antsy and frustrated, and I have a tendency to overbuy for my pets. Like, oh, look at this. Like, I bought a hammock for my cats because, you need it. But it was like, here's the thing, and they're so clever. It was like $25. It's not going to change my
I'm
life.
not judging you, darling. Go ahead.
And so when I got the hammock, they only sent me the fabric. They didn't send me the hammock part, which is the part I needed. But here's the one I want to talk about. I bought this. Have you seen this online? It's been everywhere if you have a pet, but here's how it works. So here's the reason I bought this. It's turned off right now. The reason I bought this is my cats are hilarious. My oldest cat is very active and is in the middle of things. My other cat's very shy. What this proposed to do was, when your cat gets near it, it responds to their purring and it purrs back, and then it shows the cats cuddling it, and right? Because it has a sound activation. So I'm going to turn it on so you can hear it. So I thought, well, how lovely, how sweet. So I'm going to turn this on. Hello. Wherever you put this, anywhere in the house, it picks up all the noises. How can my cats relax with that?
That's insane.
I should have figured out if it was noise sensitive to my cats. It would be noise sensitive to everything, but in my head, it would just purr with my cat. So you can't turn it on because it scares the hell out of you if it's in the room and you start to talk. This thing goes off. My cats hate it. My dog. So now it's my toy that I bought. And I think it was like $30, which isn't a lot. But you know how much they made on this?
A lot.
That's a high markup it probably cost them what? $2-3 with everything. And it didn't come with batteries. I had to do the batteries. So I don't recommend this unless you want to do something different other than having your cats cuddle with it.
That reminds me. I like that. That reminds me of an item that I was fascinated with. Gosh, it's 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like the size of a transistor radio, and it had a motion sensor on the front of it.
Okay.
And I don't know I think it was like for like a doorbell greeting. So you'd walk up, you'd activate the motion sensor, and then you say, "Hey, welcome to thanks for coming. Please, knock on the door, and then we'll have someone come out to you right away." Right?
Yeah.
It was that type of. I'm guessing and I was fascinated with this thing, and I would then, in a playful way, position it in the house so my stepdaughter would trigger it when she'd come home at 11:30 at night. Like she'd trigger, "Hey, where the hell you been?"
Right.
She never reported any. She never reported any trauma. I did put it in the bathroom one time. I think I scared the hell out of her there.
I mean, it's scary in a short-term way and funny.
I bought a Charlie McCarthy doll, the ventriloquist doll.
Of course you did.
Well, it was at a HSN sample sale.
Yes.
And then I would put that in various places where she would find it inadvertently, sitting in her chair at in her bed occasionally,
Yes.
And then when she went away to college, she moved to Washington State. I made sure that it was in the trunk of the car. So when she opened the trunk, there was Charlie waiting.
I love stuff like that.
I hope she felt that it was a fun game, not me trying to torture her.
And she's like, now I need therapy.
I was trying to find some way that we could play.
Oh, that's so funny. I also want to mention the reason I left my little 3-pound hand weights here is because I told you earlier I keep moving them so I'll be reminded to use them, and I'm putting them here on the show to shame myself because I still haven't used them. I just keep moving them, and I really do need to do arm. I have no upper body strength.
You got to watch your shoulders. Everybody's got shoulders trouble these days, so
what do you do with your shoulders?
Kevin was telling me you take your shoulder and then isometrics. You're going to find I'm not wearing pants.
Uh-oh.
Like this, and then push out.
What?
And resist.
Oh, really? Okay.
You feel that in your shoulders.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because you don't want to do heavy weights with your shoulders. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. No, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I just know that my arms, I don't, and
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
very, yeah. So this is my shaming game today.
I did my 62 push-ups this morning.
I still haven't done
It's a
push-ups.
poor man's push-up. I mean, it's a half a push-up. It's like it resembles a push-up.
It's better than zero push-ups. You
It
know
is.
what? I'm going to start doing push-ups today. I'm putting it in the thing. So when we do our show on Friday, I have to do stuff like that. I told you I got back to
Yeah.
intermittent fasting. I'm eating in a window now between 11 and 7.
I was eating in a window, then I fell out of the window. Thank
Yeah.
God I landed in a bush.
Eating in a window changes everything. You're more cognizant of what you eat. And I will say I feel better when I wake up, and I feel better. I feel lighter during the day because I'm more in control of my food intake.
Yes, yes. And then you can also forgive yourself for eating something bad at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because it's in the window.
It's in the
Eat,
window.
eat that bad thing early. Don't eat it at 10 o'clock at night.
Exactly. I
Oh, by the
love
way,
to, yeah.
by the way, I talk about the 62 push-ups. There's 100 things on my list that I need to do that I haven't done in 2 weeks. So I'm no angel here. This is the one little slice of things that I'm getting done.
But you know what? That's where it starts. You start with one thing, which I'm going to start doing push-ups. I don't think I could do a full boy push-up.
Yeah, just you go on your knees and do as many as you can. That's all you want to do. Do as many as you can.
You were just waiting to tell me to get on my knees.
Finally, someone's
Look
gonna
how you
sample
worked that in, Mr. Slick.
It took 7 weeks to get there.
It was smooth.
Get on your knees, Melinda.
Just get on your knees.
That's lovely.
Oh
No,
my
but
gosh.
make sure you do as many push-ups as you can. The key push-ups are the last one or two.
Okay.
Because you want any exercise you want to do to failure.
And then does that help with the shoulder thing too as well?
Now, yeah, it's going to help all your muscles. I mean, but
All right.
Don't ever do anything if you're hurting. It's all right to be stressed, and sore, but hurt is no good. If you're hurting, stop.
I'm
There's a
going to
difference.
Google.
The type of pain is different.
I'm going to Google the proper way to do. I don't think I know the proper way to do a push-up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think shoulder length apart, hands out this way. You go look it up, and I think it's.
But what about your back? I have a very arched back.
Yeah, you want to keep a straight back. Go ahead, look it up. People cheat all the time. If your butt's too high in the air, you're not doing a push-up.
Really?
It all falls under doing something's better than nothing. My push-ups are nothing to write home about. If I was in front of a Marine, and I was on 37, he'd say, "I'm still waiting for you to do one."
But you're working your arm muscles, which is very important.
It's something.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, I miss basketball. We haven't played basketball in 6 months.
No, I miss everything.
I was supposed to do my Baldy Hill climb this week or this month.
Oh, Tom, I'm so sorry.
That's 17 years I've been doing that hike.
You know what? I've been doing virtual tours online that has nothing to do with anything physical. Last night I did a 2-hour virtual tour.
Hey.
I followed the New York Adventure Club since I live in New York, and it was all about the subway system, and it was fascinating.
Will you text me when you're doing that? I clicked interested a couple of times on those things, and I just get away from it. But
I almost shared it on social media, and I thought, I just don't want anybody to feel any pressure, But I'm very excited. I've got a New Zealand one coming up that's on a different adventure group. So for me, not traveling, at least being able, it stimulates my mind, and then I'll do my push-ups. I'll do these. And then I was looking online. Did you see that thing that they keep showing? It's a big circle ball, and it helps tone your abdomen. Like it's a big, huge ball with a platform, and you hold it and you try to balance. So you work your abdomen.
I've not seen it, but I would imagine that'd be interesting.
So I'm all about buying things. So should I buy that, or should I just do setups?
Can I offer a suggestion for that?
Yes.
I'm so full of suggestions. I remember I wanted to buy this piece of equipment. All right. It was like a standalone 3-position gym. Oh, it's good for this, good for that, and good for that.
Yes.
Right? I said to myself, I eventually did buy it, but I said to myself, you know what? Before you make that purchase, you've got to just do calisthenics. Do calisthenics for 2 weeks. Do jumping jacks, do push-ups, do sit-ups. And if you can do 3 weeks of sit-ups, then you can treat yourself to this piece of equipment.
Okay.
That now you're indicating to yourself you're serious about exercising. Now, eventually, I did use the equipment, but not, I eventually got rid of it because that's how everybody does it. But I made myself do something to earn that equipment, not just to buy it and look at it in the corner. I mean, I've got
Smart.
I've got a rack of dumbbells that the only exercise I get is when I move, and I move that rack of dumbbells with me.
I bought a very fancy elliptical machine that's in the basement. I think we've had it maybe about a year. Yeah, you do have that whole beautiful workout area. Well, does it motivate you if you turn on music or something? Like, does that help?
That's why I do my push-ups.
Do you have a routine where you're like, every morning I'll just do blah, blah, blah?
I did my cold shower this morning.
Okay,
and I said, because yesterday I was going to do my push-ups yesterday. I'm giving myself a break. I'm not doing them every day. I'm doing them like every other day. But I said, you know what? Don't screw around, because I waited to the end of the day. Then a buddy came over and we visited. We had a beer.
Right. Well, my elliptical machine, my daughter wanted it too. Guess how many times I've been on it since last year? Consider the whole year, though.
Is it an odd number or an even number?
It's an even number.
The number is 4.
2. It's hard.
I know. I bought a rowing machine that's sitting in the corner. Once I found out I could stand it up in the corner. Oh, look at that.
Oh, it's a decorator piece. You can put plants in it.
And then my ex has got a beautiful Pilates machine.
Oh.
I mean, ropes. I guess that I'm going to guess a low number on that. And we're talking about, she says, boy, I was doing rowing at the YMCA before the pandemic, she says. I'd love to have a rowing machine. And I said, well, we should trade my rowing machine that I'm not using, because I'd love to have a Pilates machine. And, and that hasn't happened.
Rowing machine. I've looked at rowing machines for a long time, but it takes up so much space.
But this one, you can stand up in the corner. I said, put it in front of the TV. You're going to watch TV. You might as well get a little rowing in.
I think I need to do your theory, which is to prove to myself first I should earn it, because I just impulse buy and then no. So that's a good one. All right, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to start doing push-ups, and I need accountability. I am weak. That's why intermittent fasting, my sister and I are doing it together, because if it was just me, I cheat on myself.
I know. Yesterday I wanted to eat after 8:00, and I did not.
Good for you.
Yeah, because I went to Hilton Head, and we ate everything in sight. And I came back. I'm like, oof, ouch, that's 3-4 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
And then I was at the over the height. I try to be about 190, and I've been as light as 185, and I was 195 plus the other day. It's like, all right.
Oh, I'm not weighing myself because it'll make me mad. I've easily gained 10 to 15 pounds since I've been home.
See, that's why I weigh myself every day, and if I'm going the wrong way, we're going to have a good day.
I don't need that kind of pressure.
And there's plenty of other things I haven't done. Look at that. You saw what a mess the room is. I mean, I'm no poster child for getting shit done. That's for sure. There we go. I knew I was going to kick the butt.
Finally.
We
almost went the whole show without it. It's become your thing now.
I can't believe Zoom is letting us go this long. We're way past the 40-minute limit.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think at this point, Zoom is just trying to support people trying to do good.
People must be bored to death. We did 2 topics.
You know what? They were good topics.
All right, well,
and people continue to write in and let us know what they want to hear as well.
Hey, you want to hear a new joke I'm working on?
Yes.
You know when people say that when you have unprotected sex with a person, you're having sex with every person that person's ever had?
Yes.
So technically, I've already had a threesome. And probably in an orgy, but mostly with heterosexual men.
How's that feel? I hope you're proud, son. I hope you're proud.
There you go.
It's never the kind of sex you think it's going to be.
It's always something strange. All right. That's enough for today. That's our new motto. That's enough for today.
Here's how I want to sign off. Ready?
That's another one in the can.
Thanks for unpacking some shit with us.
All right, well done. All right. See everybody Friday. Keep it real.